The Memorial Chapel has been a huge part in the lives of all the students who've been through the college since 1955, when the chapel was officially opened. The then board decided that it was time to fundraise, and the significance of the chapel was actually around old boys who'd lost their lives in the war, in the Second World War, and also staff members who'd also lost their lives. And so there was a lot of emotion around the memorial aspect of the college. We have a new fundraising campaign selling 2,000 of the bricks. These bricks have been salvaged from the Memorial Chapel and have been incorporated into the memorial wall. And if we sell 2,000 of them, which there are, it will certainly raise the much needed funds for building our new chapel.
I'm an ex-professional soldier, and the memorial aspect is significant to me. When I came home in '65 after Conference StAC, I was proud to come to the chapel wearing my medals and saying I'm part of that memory.
It's significant to rebuild the chapel because it's the spiritual centre or the spiritual heart of the college, and it links the past to the current.
The chapel is primarily a place of worship, but we also wanted a place that is going to be used regularly during the normal life of the school. So we envisage it being used for smaller assemblies, for special presentations. We have a lot of groups who come in the evenings, parent groups, so it's a place of gathering there. Obviously it will also be used, we're sure, extensively by old collegians.
I think it's really important that we have a chapel here at StAC because it's such a huge part of life at StAC. I think that the amount of people that it fits in the chapel is really important because it's definitely more of a kind of community feel, which I think is important.
We're a community to those outside our boundary walls. The particular parish that will be in there, it's St Giles and St Stephen's, and they're forming together to call themselves, I think, the Village Presbyterian. I think that partnership is wonderful, but also provides a place of worship for our community.
For an architect to be asked and to be involved in designing a church, a place of worship, is particularly special. The history of architecture, of course, is probably most identified with religious architecture.
I think the community will love it. Dare I say it, the earthquake gave us the opportunity to design it for purpose. It's bigger, it's voluminous, its acoustics will be first rate. It will have a lot of the features from the old chapel in it, including it'll be sympathetic to the shape of the old chapel. The bell tower will incorporate some of the bricks from the old chapel, the gargoyles. We're going to recycle doors.
The inclusion of the heritage items is a really special part of this project, and we really relished that task, and so we've made that quite central to the way in which we thought about building this and making this project. So we've organised those in a particular way and in a particular part of the chapel.
That they'll be remembered in that memorial wall, I think, adds a connection from the past also to the future. It continues to remember the lives that were lost at war, those that were part of our community, and that was why the Memorial Chapel was built.
It's almost rounded up the situation because the old Memorial Chapel was opened in 1955, and it's quite nice, I feel, for us to be here when the foundation stone is laid for the new one.
But it was special. And I remember the man who set this place in motion. He was an old gentleman. I thought, God, how old he was. And now I'm older. So there's all that history to me which is wrapped up in the chapel and Strone House. But the chapel is always my first thought.
Thank you for all the wonderful work and effort that has gone into preparing this place for our chapel. We lay the foundation stone today upon which will stand our new place of worship, a place where fellowship will be created, service inspired, memories made ever present, celebrations had, and most importantly, a place where our faith in you will be nurtured.